good evening, or morning, or afternoon. My name is Amanda if you guys are new here. Welcome back to my channel if you're not. I am so pregnant. Let me just give you guys visuals real quick, okay? Oh yeah. She's big. I am so pregnant, and I am also carrying a very breeched bub. So if you guys don't know what breech babies are, basically all babies are supposed to be head down in your pelvis. After around 32 weeks, they like to settle in that position. That's the most optimal position for labor and delivery. However, at term, so at 37 weeks, 3 to 4% of babies are breech. I am 35 weeks pregnant currently, but my baby is still breech, and he has been breech since the 32-week appointment. So it's not giving me very much hope. Now, don't get me wrong, I technically do still have some time to let the baby flip on his own, but I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know if he's gonna flip on his own. I think he's just way too comfortable. And usually I'm of the camp of like, okay, if this baby wants to stay in the position that he's in, that's fine. I'm not gonna try and force him. But I also don't want a C-section. I'm 22 years old. I'm a very low-risk pregnant patient, and I plan to have a lot more kids, and I don't want to have to get a C-section every single time I want to pop a baby out. I am not against C-sections if I have to, if there's an emergency situation, if I really have to, I will get a C-section, and I don't judge anybody who does choose or gets a C-section in the end. But for me, I want to avoid it at all costs if I can. Now, if you're not pregnant, or you're a dude and you just don't know anything about pregnancy and labor and delivery and birthing a child, you cannot birth a breech baby in a hospital in the US. They just don't teach it anymore. Providers won't do it. They will only really attempt a breech delivery vaginally if you've had a baby before. I don't know why. I'm sure you can research and look up the answer, but yeah, they won't do it unless you have had a baby before, and this is my first baby, so that's not the case for me. So really, I'm kind of SOL in the department of vaginal births for a breech baby. So that leads me to where we are right now. Again, I'm 35 weeks pregnant, so next week at my 36-week appointment, which is my 9-month appointment. So weird that I will be 9 months pregnant next week. What? Next week at my 36-week appointment, they will start the conversation of ECVs or a C-section. So ECVs are basically, they're aversions, and basically what they do is your doctor will manually flip the baby for you by pressing on your belly. Doesn't sound that appealing or pleasant, and it sounds really painful, and I've actually heard a lot of horror stories. But I've talked to a lot of midwives and accredited people in the birth world, and it's actually not as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. And, well, I'm hoping. Again, I haven't had it yet. And it does have a success rate of, I think, 50%. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like, why not try that? So I'm definitely going to try that if none of this works and he doesn't flip. That's going to be my next option. When your baby is breech and you're not 36 weeks yet, they tell you to do all sorts of things to help encourage your baby to turn on his own. The most common thing that people recommend and doctors recommend is to go on spinningbabies.com and do a bunch of their inversions. So basically you just get upside down to encourage the baby to get upside down. Another really popular thing to turn your breech baby is to use an exercise ball like this guy and bounce on the ball and do hip circles and pelvic tilts and a whole bunch of stuff. I've also been doing acupuncture and chiropractic care, and the Webster technique is what they recommend for breech babies in chiropractic. And acupuncture when you're pregnant is basically just the same thing as acupuncture when you're not pregnant. You're just laying on your side, and your acupuncturist can also do moxibustion on you. So moxibustion is basically a Chinese herb that they use to light on fire and stick on the outer edges of your pinky toes, and the smoke is supposed to help encourage the baby to flip because it creates space in your uterus. Now, I've tried all of the things. I've done chiropractic care, I've done acupuncture, I've done moxibustion, I've done birthing balancing on the ball. I've done inversions. However, I have not done the at-home things that I can do, so moxibustion, bouncing on the ball, and inversions all in the same day. And I really, if I'm going to be honest, have not done them correctly, like how I'm really supposed to. So like moxibustion, you're supposed to do 2 times a day for 15 minutes. I've probably done it 2 times a day for like 5 minutes, you know? So that's what we're doing today. This whole video is going to be just kind of like a fun video of you guys watching me trying to flip my Breech baby. And if your baby is Breech, you guys can give some of these exercises a try. Obviously, consult with your doctor, but I've talked to midwives, I've talked to my OB, I've talked to my chiropractor, I've talked to my acupuncturist, and they all say give these a go for me. So again, talk to your people, but give these a try if your baby is Breech. Oh, one more thing that I have not tried yet that I will try today in this video is using hot and cold things like compresses to put on my belly and encourage the baby to flip. So apparently if you put heat towards your pelvis where you want the baby's head to go and a frozen compress like frozen blueberries on the top of your belly where you don't want the baby to be, he'll flip. So we'll test that out today. The first thing that we're going to try today is moxibustion. So this is my moxi stick. I've already used it a few times, so that's why it's in this jar with dry quinoa, because you gotta ash it out. Again, you light it on fire. These are the directions. So basically what you do is it says, when using to turn a Breech baby, the therapeutic time for moxi use is 20 minutes. We're doing 15. So basically what you do is you light this little stick on fire. You have to do it over a candle because it doesn't really like get super hot really fast, so it's just easier to hold it over a candle instead of like having to keep your finger on a lighter. So you do that, and then you put it on the side of your pinky toe and you hold it there until your pinky toe feels like it's burning. I will show you guys my pinky toe because I've done this at acupuncture, and I did this at home twice with Lucas already, and my pinky toes, you can tell that I've done moxibustion. Don't mind my nails, I know they're really ratchet. I don't have the money to get a pedicure right now, or the time, or the care to really get one, so yeah, you see how this is so burnt? It doesn't hurt, it's not like, I mean, it's actually burnt, but like it doesn't hurt. The other toe is like similarly burnt. Yeah. So, I'm gonna move the candle, make sure there's heat. Alright, so what I'm doing is setting a timer for 15 minutes, and then I'm holding the moxi stick about 2 to 3 centimeters from my pinky toe, and then I'll switch sides and then do that for just 15 minutes. And yeah, it gets really hot, but apparently people swear by this, so I'm down to try whatever. Alright, so the next one we're going to try is inversion. So this is basically all over spinning babies. This is what you're supposed to do. I talked to a midwife on the phone who I was like, please help me spin my Breech baby. And she was like, okay, you need to do an inversion for 5 minutes. And then after that, you're gonna immediately crawl onto the ground and do like 100 cat-cows. So that's what I'm gonna do. So basically for the inversion, you put your knees here and then you fall forward, not fall, like you lean forward and then go on your forearms. And your butt's in the air, so you're kind of like this, you're inverted so that the baby can get out of your pelvis. So that's what we're gonna do. Usually, they suggest you do it with a partner. For your first time, definitely do it with your partner there. I did, but I know how to do it now, so I'm doing it alone. All right, we're gonna start the 5-minute countdown right now. This is hard. Okay. Crawling down. Now the cat-cows. I just felt him move so weird. How incredible would it be if I got this on video that he actually flipped? Alright, so this next one is honestly kind of my personal favorite because I just turn music on, like full blast, and I just bounce. So they want you to bounce like pretty high and for a while. But this is supposed to encourage the baby to, you know, definitely need some music. Taylor Swift is like literally all I want to listen to when I'm pregnant. Don't know why. It was the same when I was in my first trimester, second trimester, and my third trimester. Like every time I had like a craving to really like listen to somebody, it was Taylor Swift. Okay, so next, after bouncing, they want you to do this. So some pelvic circles, both sides. All right, and lastly, you gotta do some pelvic tilts. So it's kind of like a cat-cow, but on the ball. Don't think you flipped because I felt you kick me in my cervix. Then I'm just gonna bounce on the ball for like a minute more.
Happy, would you want me? Would you tell me to go fuck myself or lead me to the garden?
I gotta pee now. And the last thing I'm gonna do to try and flip my breech bub is hot and cold compresses. So I have my frozen blueberries and I have, I'll show you, a water bottle or a mason jar full of hot warm water that I rolled in a napkin. So babies in utero don't like cold. So I'm putting the heat kind of like above my pubic bone, and I'm putting cold on the top where he likes to stick his head. And now we wait. This is why it's nice that I live with just Lucas and he is at work, because anybody who walks in right now would think I'm a crazy person. These blueberries are freaking cold. This is what it's come to. Has this worked for anybody? Because I'm getting bored. Well guys, looks like this is gonna be the rest of my night. Just chilling here, trying to get Bub to flip. We'll keep you guys posted on what I decide to do in terms of the EVC, which is the version that they manually try and flip the baby. I have my appointment next week where I talk about it with my OB and talk about my other options such as C-section, although I don't want to get a C-section. So I'm still holding on to hope that he will flip, just because everyone I've seen, like my chiropractor and my OB, think that he has a lot of room in there and that he will turn. But at the same time, it's like everything that you read online, which I know at the start of any sentence that starts with that is like doomed just by nature. But seriously, anything you read online doesn't give you much hope of a breech baby turning past like 32 weeks. So I'm trying to stay positive. I just like, part of me thinks he really is just cozy in breech. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know I look like a crazy person, but Mama's gotta do what she's gotta do. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and comment below if your baby is breech and what worked to turn your baby if you had a baby that was breech that turned. And subscribe. Always subscribe so you don't miss a new video. I put out a new video every Wednesday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.
Because I feel like it's so easy. Like, for example, for me, when I first went to college, I was so excited, such a new time, meeting so many new people. I wouldn't say I was like peer pressured into doing anything, but I definitely did say yes to a lot of things at first. And then after a while, I was like, oh, this is getting kind of old. I don't want to do this anymore. And I know for a lot of people, it can be easy to be like, oh, I don't like this, but I'm still going to do it because like this is how people are going to like me. Whereas I was just like, no, I don't like this, so I'm going to stop doing it. And that's okay too. It's okay to say no to things. It's okay to dabble in something that you once liked and you don't like to do it anymore. So really just finding yourself and being okay with what it is that you like to do and what makes you you, and then just owning that as well. Like, stop doubting yourself so much too.